DayZ has one of the longest and most complicated journeys of modern gaming. Starting as a mod for Arma 2 before eventually becoming a standalone game, spending years in early access, then releasing on consoles in 2019. Since then, it has continued to divide players. Some call it immersive and unforgiving, others call it unfinished and frustrating. It's also just appeared in the PlayStation Plus Essentials games for September, so if you're anything like me, you tried to use the Arma mod on PC a decade ago and failed to get it to work. Then you saw it in the PlayStation Plus library, added it to your library, installed it, and then spent the month unable to play any games at all because adult life sucks. But regardless, seeing as our reviewer Ethan Crawford has spent hundreds of hours with the game, here's an honest look at what DayZ does well and where it falls short. The premise is simple. A plague has ended civilization, leaving only scattered survivors. You wake up on a beach with almost nothing, a glow stick, some food, and bandages, and off you go. That's it. Everything is player-driven. There are no missions, no safe zones, no rules. Every interaction with another player could be hostile or cooperative, and every choice could have dire consequences. DayZ doesn't provide any structured story at all. It's about the stories that you create for yourself in Chernarus. DayZ is built on harsh fundamentals. Death is permanent for your character. So if you get got by a pack of hungry zombies or mercilessly slaughtered by another player walking around with 10% of the US military-industrial complex's output in their backpack, you respawn back on the beach with nothing. Servers wipe progress occasionally, forcing you to accept that everything you build will eventually be lost. And success rarely comes quickly. Expect to fail often before achieving anything meaningful. But if you can accept those conditions, or if you actively enjoy the challenge, then the game opens up into a truly unique survival experience. Survival in DayZ is deliberately, intensely, masochistically punishing. Food, water, and shelter are essential, and dangers come from every direction. Zombies exist, but they're basic and predictable. They're easily the weakest part of the survival loop. Far more impactful is the detailed medical system. Illnesses, wounds, infections, and broken bones all have specific treatments that require players to learn and prepare. There are very, very few games on console that offer a health system that's this deep. There's also hunting animals for food, which adds some spice, because it's food, to proceedings, and encounters against wolves or bears stand out as some of the game's most intense moments. But it's in the PvP where DayZ really shines. Every encounter is high stakes, since every other player that you encounter could be hostile, and every fight could mean losing hours or days of progress. You just don't know whether the lone player that you come across inviting you to their sweet base is leading you into a trap, or whether the player you find skulking around near your base, who insists they're just exploring the world, is actually about to call in their entire squad to absolutely wreck your shit. Or maybe they are friendly, but if you decide to defend your little patch of progression like a grumpy little honey badger that you are, they'll take you down instead. Weapons are modelled realistically with condition, attachments, and manual actions all affecting their use. So getting into a fight is really hard, and if your gun's in a bad nick, it's gonna cause you some problems.
I ran out of ammo! No, it jammed or something. Oh my gosh, that is so dumb.
This makes combat unforgiving, immersive, and, as Ethan says, often unforgettable. In many ways, it's his highlight of the game, and the main reason that players keep loading back into Chernarus again and again. Speaking of Chernarus, the playable map is vast at over 200 square kilometers. There is no minimap or pause screen map to guide you. Navigation is performed entirely using road signs, compasses, landmarks, paper maps, or even celestial navigation using the sun and the stars. So, all those times your granddad told you that one day you wouldn't have your phone on you to get directions to figure out where you needed to go, well, he was right. I'm positive that this is exactly the situation he was thinking about as well. Navigation then is another exceptionally rewarding element of DayZ, turning real-world skills, if you've got them, into in-game advantages. But the actual in-game reward for this exploration, which is finding that sweet loot, is lackluster, with items still often just spawning plainly on the ground rather than being placed in believable ways or believable places. Visually, DayZ is showing its age. Textures are basic up close, though environments look convincing at a distance. The color palette is muted with lots of green and gray, but it's built off a milsim, so, if you're expecting anything else, then you clearly weren't a gamer between 2006 and, no, a lot of shooters are still doing that, aren't they? Sound design fares better. Guns are powerful and distinct, and players with good ears can identify weapon types and distances just off of the audio. Zombie screams are really creepy, but enemy footsteps, which are pretty important if you're getting into a high-stakes CQB situation, can be unreliable, which limits their usefulness. Performance remains one of DayZ's biggest weaknesses. Bugs are common, from audio glitches tied to movement.
Hello there.
To inventory errors that show items you don't have anymore. These issues are persistent, and they can fundamentally undermine an otherwise tense and immersive experience. Even years after its full release, DayZ is still struggling with polish. DayZ is a great idea with some unfortunately poor execution. Its PvP and survival systems deliver some unforgettable moments. Its technical problems, weak zombie design, and lack of polish prevent it from realizing its full potential. Despite this, it continues to sell at a pretty premium price, which is difficult to justify given the state that it's often in. If you're a fan of milsim or hardcore survival experiences, DayZ can still offer something special, especially if you get it on sale or on PlayStation Plus. But for casual players, it's punishing. And that lack of refinement, together with that, make it a little bit difficult to recommend. So DayZ gets 5 out of 10. Pros: next level combat, detailed and immersive game world. Cons: it's buggy, it's underdeveloped, and it can be a little bit of a walking simulator sometimes. Thanks for watching this review of DayZ. Let us know down in the comments if you picked it up for PlayStation Plus, if you've been playing, if Ethan and I have got it completely wrong, if we're entirely right. Just engagement, please. Likes, comments, subscribes. Ooh, they all help a great deal, and we'd love to get some. Click subscribe. It's just move your hand either to your mouse or just to your screen and just press, little press. And then, that's literally all the effort that you need to put in. But it helps us loads. So that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. If you want to keep up with other gaming news, reviews, guides, other things Ethan's written, or anything else gaming, then come and see us over at gametips.gg. And we'll see you next time.